Welcome back to Sawmill Railway, everyone. Today we've got a little behind the scenes video because I want to show you how I prep my buildings and the crane and so on for the sawmill siding. I started a couple of hours ago by assembling those 4 lanterns. Then we've got the sawmill building. I bought that one used. As you can tell, we got all kinds of wires and switches sticking out of the footing. I don't like that. I need to redo all the wiring. We need to test those 2 lanterns. We need to test the sawmill. This can move up and down. And then I will install some more lanterns on the outside to make it look very nice when it's dark. But first of all, we will tackle the crane over here. I removed the roof, and this crane will get a couple of lights. And the interesting part will be how to hide the wiring. This is what the crane looks like from underneath. We've got those pre-manufactured plastic foots or footings, and those are pretty sturdy. I'm surprised. So my plan is to use this long piece of all thread. Of course, I will cut it to length. And then there are some pre-manufactured holes in the plastic footing, and I will stick this all thread through, put some nuts on the top, and then I will pour an actual concrete footing for this crane. And just like that, mission number 1 is accomplished. We've got the, let's call it rebar, that will go inside the concrete footing. And once the concrete is hardened up, this cannot move anymore, of course. And then, in case I need to remove the crane from the footing, I've got those nuts on all 4 corners. I can loosen the nuts and then lift the crane off the footing very easily and quick. I have removed the rebar footing to be able to upright the crane, and now I can have a look how to mount this pipe, which will feed the wiring from down here up here, and also all the way across the crane, because I want to install 2 lights, one here and one there. I did a couple of tests, and as you can tell, I get a kink into the pipe instead of a nice rounded bend, so that won't work. Now I need to have a different solution, and I think that will be to cut the pipe halfway and then make the bend, so the pipe will stay together and will be open on the outside of the bend. Let's just say this won't work either. Now we got a crack into the remaining material of the pipe, so it's basically broken. Okay, I'm done with all those tests. I think we will just use 2 separate pieces of pipe, which will be cut to length, very easy, and yeah, no one will notice anyways, I hope. So let's do that. this is my solution. You can see this tiny hole. That's where the wiring will go from the bottom to the top, and then the wiring will feed into this nice brass pipe, which I fixed with some tiny wire, so those brass pipes cannot move anymore. Up here we've got the second hole for the second lantern, and then the second pipe, which is fixed in place the same way. And here we've got a third hole which will feed the wire from the upper pipe to the lower pipe, and the lower pipe goes all the way down to the base of the crane, from where the wire will shoot out the side of the footing and will disappear into the gravel. Now we are going to install the two lanterns and the wires until this point down here. Alright, this looks awesome. Can you see the wires? I can't. Instead I can see a nice brass pipe, and there are the two wires. Now I need to lengthen them, and then we can feed them through this pipe all the way to the base. The wires are lengthened. You might ask yourself, why am I not using black wire? That's simply because I don't have black wire this size. I know it's a shame. I will buy some one day, but right now I don't have one. This is it, my friends. Look at that. We got two nice lights underneath the crane, lighting up the work area underneath it. I can't wait to see some trains running underneath the crane into the sawmill yard. This will look awesome. I am very excited. Lights are back on, and you can see the brass pipe which we installed earlier. Nice and tidy. Wires going down here all the way to the base. At the base we have a short look at the wires, but I reckon no one will notice them unless they will look very close. And then we got the pipe over here, which will make the wires run into the gravel and underground until they terminate at the sawmill, where the decoder will sit, which will feed the lights of the crane. At least that's the plan. So let's reinstall the roof and get moving with the sawmill. Moving on to the sawmill building. I bought this one used. It's in great shape. What I don't like about it are those wires and the switch. We are going to remove both. And during the crane project I accidentally bumped the building, so now it's kind of loose, but no problem at all. We are going to glue the building to the base and repair the building, and we are going to test the lanterns. So let's go. So let's test the lanterns. They are pretty beat up, but yes, they both work. That's great. I think I now got all the unnecessary wiring removed, and since I'm underneath the sawmill, I will start by lengthening the wires of the sawmill motor, because it will go through the bottom part of the sawmill. And right here we've got the small extra room, this one back here, and this will be the main wiring place. So the decoder will sit inside this room somewhere. So I will drill a hole through the bottom of the piece and feed the wire through there, so we can wire it to the decoder. Now comes the interesting part. Will the sawmill actually work? Oh no, it actually won't work. That's interesting. So I think I need a new motor. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Okay, I have had a closer look at the motor and it's completely shut. So what I'm gonna do, I can't remove it since the sawmill depends on the motor being installed. And I will leave the motor in place, look for a replacement on eBay or elsewhere, and when I got the motor I can change it. But for now we are going to reassemble the building. I want to glue it onto the base so it can resist some wind. This gluing action marks the end of today's video. Now the base and the upper part will need to dry up. So this will be one solid structure. And once that happens, we can reinstall the inner small room, wire all the lights. I will install some additional lights on the outside, so it will look really nice when it's dark. And then we need to find a way how to fix the roof so the wind can't blow it off, but it is still removable. I think I will use magnets, but I'm not sure yet. But that's all for the next video. I hope you have enjoyed this little exhibition, and we will see us in the next one when I do all the rest, and then we can finally install the sawmill in the garden. Very nice. Have a good one. See you in the next video.